Hi.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
It's
So good
good.
to see you.
It's good to see you too. Yeah, so I'm Alisa. I'm here with Cassie and Kaitlyn, our wonderful communications team. Pretty sure most of you have had contact with them. And I'm Alisa. I'm here mostly to manage the community because that is honestly one of my passions in life that I really, really love seeing people come together and drop into deeper connections with one another. So yeah, when a young girl asked me if I want to do something around community in the MEV, I was ecstatic because this is exactly what I want to do. And I asked Cassie and Kaitlyn today if we could talk a little bit about community and about friendship because it's a topic that's very dear to my heart. And yeah, I feel that the MEV is one of these projects where we can really drop deeper into connection and into community and friendships and almost any other place in the world. I work as a psychologist and a relationship coach in my daily business, and the one thing that comes up for me the most with people who come to see me is that they feel really lonely. And it's really become this huge epidemic. It's getting stronger than depression and anxiety, which have been the biggest things that people struggle with. But these days, it's loneliness. And it starts even with the kids. Even 12-year-old kids now feel really, really lonely, which has not really been a thing for such a long time. And so I feel really passionate about us talking about loneliness and why it's such a huge thing right now for everybody. And this is really so interesting because I think most people think that we only get lonely if we're not in a romantic relationship, if we have a job that is only working from home or things like that. But the truth is that there are so many people who are in committed relationships who have a job where they go to the office every day and still there's this huge sense of loneliness deep inside them, and that's why they contact me then. But I would love to implement some of these things also for the MEV because I think this is the best place to implement something like that. So that's why I'd love to talk a little bit about friendship and community, and I'm so glad that you guys joined me here.
Yes, thank you. I really love what you shared. And I think that's what's going to be so fundamental about implementing these intentional ways of communication and community in the modern eco village. Because I feel like nowadays we spend so much time on technology or indoors. Um, we don't truly connect with people. And I feel like that's really missing from at least where we've been living. And we'll share a bit more about that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like also you mentioned kids, and so many children are glued to their screens, and that really impacts their ability to connect with themselves, with their parents, and it's this big ripple effect. So I feel that what we'll be creating in the modern eco village is going to be really special because we're kind of going to go just back to the way it used to be. Like I feel like we really miss that idea of playing in the yard or playing in the streets like until it was dark. I know you did that a bunch, and like I
Yeah.
think we all did. You got to play with your friends until your mom and dad yelled for you to come inside for dinner. So I'm looking forward to returning to those ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess we can maybe kind of jump into with like our experiences because we've all traveled around the world. So we've lived in um different places. From like Costa Rica, or you have Indonesia, Bali. You have we've lived in Spain, of course, and just all over the world. And I think in Mexico, and I'm just trying to think of like the times where we're at a location for a long period of time, and everything was great. The location to the beach or the town, like it's walking distance and all these different things. And
sort of checked all the boxes,
yeah,
but
but one thing that we were missing was a community, and that's something that I didn't realize like was so important to us until we actually were out like by ourselves, like and alone in a country that we, that's not our home country. And I think that's what kind of um really painted that picture for us with how important it is to have community and to have friendships because we are social creatures and we
Yeah.
need that connection. Yes, it's great, if you're, with your partner, you're traveling or even by yourself, like it is nice to have that solitude in a way. But at the end of the day, it's really nice to have those friends that you can connect with over different things and interests, and
Yeah.
passions and stuff. So
I think we all have
that's been
different
a thing.
needs we need
Yeah.
fulfilled, right? And our partner or our family, whoever we're with, can't fulfill all of those. I feel like that's
Yeah.
something we've talked about with you before, and what
Yes.
you shared. So yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really important. I think that you just said, Kaitlyn. I think that these days we kind of get this picture portrayed to us by social media and the movies and books and so on, that romance means that we find this one person and they're able to fulfill everything. They're going to be our best friend, they're our therapist because they're always here for us when we need to talk about something. They always give the best advice. They're also our lover. They're also this and this and that, the best mom and dad. They're the best everything. And it's not realistic. It's not, it puts so much pressure on our romantic relationships. And I think there is a lot of like a shift in thinking right now that our relationships, our romantic relationships don't have to be something that just happens, but it actually needs effort. And I would love for the same thing to be true for friendships because, yeah, I feel that so much what you said, Cassie. Um, Everything can be perfect on this list that we check, but friendship, I don't know why it's usually not on that list for most people, or at least it is for a lot of nomads. And um, yeah, I can so relate. I've never really looked at the places we're gonna live at from a perspective of, or at least not until recently, from a perspective of, okay, where are going to be the people that I want to connect with? And even when we started doing that, the people that we connected with in a community that is not there for a long time, there's such a different energy. I don't know if you two have had the same experience. For me personally, when I then look for community in a place where everybody's just here for a month or maybe half a year or something, um, the way that we connect to these people is very different. It's like, oh my God, yes, we have the same interests and it's fun and you're interesting and oh, let's grab a coffee or let's do this workshop together. But there's a sense of fleeting connection. And for me personally, that is fun, but it doesn't really charge my batteries that much. It feels like, okay, I'm maybe not lonely in this afternoon because there's somebody, but it doesn't recharge me in a way that the person that I know is going to be here for the next year, in the next 5 years, and I know I can just walk over there and just have a chat with that person. That person's going to be there for a long time. It feels so different to me. Yeah.
Like 1000%.
Yeah. And I think too, it takes time to build real, genuine connections. And when you're not in a place where you're staying for a while, I don't think it allows for that. So I think the fleeting element has just, yeah, like you said, it's played a big role. But it's, yeah, I had a train of thought and I totally lost it. So I mean,
I mean, I don't know, the thing that came to mind was when we were living in Costa Rica not too long ago, and we were really excited to join the community to just kind of explore and get to know everyone. And there was like a, like a yoga shala, or I don't know what
Mhm.
it's called. But basically, it was a place where everyone seemed to really connect and bond. Like, the vibes were really awesome, and I
yeah.
think it was so interesting for us because, you know, we were like, wow, these people are so nice. Like, we're really excited to connect with everyone. But there just seemed to be something missing. And I don't know if it was because we were only going to be there for like 4 to 5 months, or if it's because people also knew that. But there's like this underlying feeling of, yeah, like you said, like a fleeting friendship that's like, it's kind of like we're like, maybe subconsciously it's like you don't really even really want to make that effort to
Mm-hmm.
like pour
You're
into
like
that friendship.
self-sabotaging it because you know it's like, you know,
Yeah,
gonna
and not to
end.
not to say that even we did that. Actually, we were really open, but I'm just curious. I wonder if it's like a human nature kind of thing to think that, you know, oh well, you know, she's gonna leave in 3 months, so like
What's the
she's
point?
cool, but like I'm not gonna really try because I already have my friends here, you know?
Yeah, that's what I think I
Yeah.
felt was
And
like
that's what it felt.
there's like that pre-existing friendship among the group that did pride
Mm-hmm.
on inclusivity, but it was like, well, it just like it was an energetics thing,
And
basically. It felt like.
I share that to kind of like relate it to what you were saying, and I think because I think we talked about it and let you have experienced something similar, and I think because we all are so conscious of our friendships and the connections that we make, I feel like that's what makes the Modern Eco Village so special, because we are the ones, like, we know how it feels to be on the outside, and we want to be able to weave, I mean, we just want to be that connector for everyone to feel comfortable and to make it feel like they have their place in their home in the Modern Eco Village, regardless of their interests. Because the Modern Eco Village is, I mean, it's not just for one type of person. I mean, there's all kinds of people coming in that have their own passions and abilities and interests and all these things that are excited to share them. And I think that it's going to be a really fun breeding ground for all types of friendships and connections. And so, yeah, I just feel like that's what's gonna make, I feel like the Modern Eco Village really special, because we know, like we know like um
Cultivate.
what to cultivate and like what not to do, and like how to make sure that everyone feels included.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think that's really beautiful. I think that what you just mentioned, there's going to be so many different people in the MEV. So we also all want different kinds of friendships, right? I'm always talking about I want these friendships to be so deep and like really nurturing, and that is not the way that everybody wants to see friendships. That is my way that I prefer. But I know that a lot of people, especially people who are more on the spectrum of extroverted people, they can go into the room, there's only strangers, and just being around really cool people just charges their batteries. It doesn't charge my batteries as much, but other people, it does charge it. So I think the beautiful thing in the MEV is going to be that we have all kinds of ways that we can connect. So we're going to have we're going to have Janko and Belinda talked about this, like really cool meetups where everybody can just meet, and it's maybe a theme night, and then everybody can just mingle. And for the people who just want this, oh, I talked to this person and that person, and I talked to this person, and I danced with that person, and I did this, like that's going to be amazing. And for the people who really need more of a continuous, okay, I know that these people are going to be here every week for the yoga class that I'm going to be in, and we're going to see each other every week, and then maybe afterwards go for coffee or something. That's going to be there too. I think that's the main difference, because we can have all kinds of relationships and community and friendships. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, maybe we could share a little bit about the vision that we have for some of those group
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
and things.
So
I know Belinda and Yanko have touched on like the movie nights and the shared, you know, just the potlucks, the dinners where everyone brings
Yes.
fish, and I think those are all fabulous and so amazing. But we were chatting the other day, and we thought it would be really cool to offer like group classes where someone like has an expertise and they bring it and they share their knowledge. I guess like a workshop.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shops and stuff.
Yeah, and it's just like offered to the community for for free or for very like, you know, very cheap and or discounted, and you know, it's just like a really cool way to allow someone to share their skill set and maybe spark a passion in someone else, or um yeah.
Or just even like a fun, like you know what came to mind, and I don't know why it keeps coming up, but like kind of like where someone can, like, because we have like people who love music and love to play instruments or sing, including our very own and Yanku and many other people. And I think it'd be so fun if we had like someone, we can have like open mic nights and people can like play music, and we can even join them or dance with them, and have nights like that, like just like
kind of like a curtain, kind of like one or several people singing, making music, and then the others, they're not just listening, but they're like singing with them, they're making music with them. So
yeah, things like that. And basically where it's not even like, it's just like a fun thing that, like, hey, we have like live music, every Friday night, and everyone can just come, and if you want to play your own, like, you can come on and just like make it a fun thing. But I think that's like, these are just like some ideas that we wanted to share, because I don't know, I'm just really excited about like all the small big details.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
even like I was gonna add support groups too, like
I
for
love
like new mothers, or even just mothers in the community. I think like there's, like you said, Cassie, like there's going to be so many opportunities for different kinds of friendships and connection in the modern eco village. And so I really like that idea of having just groups that, like, wherever you feel pulled, or if there's an interest that resonates, creating something of that sort.
Yeah,
I love. Oh.
Yeah. I shared that in the past video, that I would love to offer something like vulnerability circles, women's circles. I mean, I hope there's also going to be a men's circle, things like that, because I really feel if these are consistent things and these are the people that we keep seeing, then it's we can drop so much deeper, and that's really going to make a big difference.
Yes, I feel you on that. I actually wanted to share, this was what I was going to share earlier, and talking about how it's tough to establish like fleeting friendships. But for me, I feel like I'm not a surface level person. Like, I can be in the situations when I need to be. Like, I love just getting to know someone in the moment, but also I love to drop in and have deep, like, soul deep conversations, and learn like what, like, for someone, like, what makes them drive, what makes their soul sing, like, I want to know, all these, like, what makes them them. And I feel like that's tough to do when you're moving around and stuff. And so I look forward to the modern eco village, like being able to truly drop in with people, for those who want to, and just establish more meaningful friendships, basically.
Same.
I think all three of us, we are very, very similar in that regard.
I'm like, I can only talk about the weather so long. Like, let's just get deep. I want to know.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the beauty around a community like that is really that it's possible to do that because we're going to be around each other so much. We can, yes, we all have our own little haven where we can recharge ourselves and have me time and things like that. But just going to the grocery store, or dropping our kids off at school, or whatever it is that we're going to do, just going for the walk in the park, we're going to meet the same people again and again. And so it really helps to not it having to be this, okay, so I can have maybe like 3 people where I can like really have these deep intentional connections with, because it takes a lot of effort. But if we all live close to one another, that network can actually grow, because it's a lot easier to do that when these people live right next door to you. And it's not oh, when do you have time for a Zoom call? Oh, okay, this week I'm completely packed. How about next week? Birthday. Okay, the week after. That's so much more difficult than just saying, hey, I'm 2 minutes away from your house. Can I drop by for coffee? Very different energy, I feel like.
Yeah. I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
that makes me so excited.
I know. I was I was just like imagining like a day in the life, and like how it would be with meeting up with friends, like you were saying, like, maybe go to morning yoga, maybe after go to the lake, play some I don't know, beach volleyball or
Beach tennis.
and yeah, just like having your people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was something you said, and I was gonna add to it, but
Yeah. Well, I think it ties back into that
Yeah.
original point that you made about how we don't really prioritize or make our friendships very intentional. We don't pour the work into it, but maybe that's because we're not really set up to connect on a day-to-day basis. Like, we live far away from our neighbors. We don't even see our neighbors bringing groceries to their home. I'm like, this has
no.
got to be like, how is anyone living around me, you know? And so because our society isn't set up for meaningful connection, then maybe that's why it's missing. Of course, I'm sure we can all pour a little bit more effort in, but life happens. And
Mhm.
but I think with the MEV, it's setting ourselves up for meaningful, intentional connection and friendships. So
Mhm.
I think that's so
Yeah.
special.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always, I think, important to make an effort that we really create this community and create friendships and so on. But the MEV is going to have the absolute easiest network already set up that we can do that if we put some effort in. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just gonna like be such an easier way to establish those connections, because it's not like, oh, I ran into you at the store or at the coffee shop and like, oh, I only have 5 minutes, sorry. But you're like, hey, like you're literally in the same, the same village,
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, even if you don't have time at the moment, like you get to like see them later on that week. Or and also, like, not to say for those like who are kind of like, well, I don't want to see like everyone every day, like I also can see that too, because we also want our alone time or just like
Yeah.
solid. But I just wanted to share that for those like who do crave that connection. And also, we will have enough space for our own space and privacy, so it's kind of cool. You're not really forced to. You really do have your space to kind of like go out like on your own and do your own things, or even like take a road trip to Valencia or like somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Our town is so close to everything.
Pack your bags.
So I do want to like, I guess maybe shed light on that for people who might be like, oh my God, like I don't want to see the same people every day. Because I kind of get.
Yeah, but the village is
yeah,
huge.
it
Like,
is huge.
The land is
500 homes.
yeah, it's very vast. So there's plenty of.
Yeah.
I think one thing that just sparked when you were talking, Cassie, is for me something that I do. I know it's not everybody's mechanism, but my mechanism when I'm not feeling well is I retreat. So what I do is I feel like I don't want to see anybody, because that's the way that I learned to be when I'm not feeling well. So there is the sense of, if I'm around people, I have to be the sunshine and like really happy and like do this and yeah, I'm doing good and and all of that. And that's really easy to maintain this not really super healthy mechanism that I have when everything is digital, because then I'm just not making any calls with people. But if I live in a community, something that I really like about this is that I will be able to see people when I'm in a good mood and a bad mood. And for me personally, friendship really means, and really connected community means, these people are going to see me when I'm in a bad mood. They're going to see me when I'm sad. They're going to see me when I'm happy. They're going to see me when I go through heartbreak and so on, like all of these things. And that really makes me feel like I can be myself and I can be authentic. If I only see people when I'm in a good mood, that's amazing. But it's, again, for me, surface level. So in a sense of, yes, I can always take myself out, and me time is extremely important to me. And also, like, sometimes having this little nudge of being like, okay, I'm gonna go out there even though I'm gonna see people and I don't really feel like connecting because I'm sad right now, it can really help, I think.
Yeah, I love that you shared that too. That's such.
Yeah, and I think that's really big. That's what it's about, just learning to be human with one another.
Yeah. I think one thing that comes to my mind is I just can't wait for my days to be like little connections throughout the day. and then some intentional deeper connections, and then things like like you said, maybe going to Valencia. The picture in my head was kind of, oh, Tuesday is my day off. I'm gonna ask anybody who wants to go to the next beach, and we can kind of pack a car full with all of the beach stuff, and like maybe make a picnic and things like that, and then drive to the beach, have a beach day, and then come back in the evening, or things like that. Can't wait for stuff like that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's another thing. The group excursions, like just
Yeah.
based on interests, and love
I'm
it.
so excited for that. And also I'm sure like it'll be like groups will have like road trips together and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think like I mean at the end of the day, like there's really no limit to how we can spend time with our neighbors and like the things that we could do. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a really fun experience.
Yes, I cannot wait.
same here. Oh, well, so nice to be with you tonight, this morning, Alisa.
For me, morning, for you, evening.
Oh, but yeah, it's always amazing to share space with you. So thank you.
Yeah,
Mm.
thanks for having us and thanks for also just including us in this conversation because it's also an important topic for us as we have navigated through, you know, our travels and something that like we really made like a promise to ourselves like within this next chapter of life that we are going to have like we have intentional friendships and but really like embody that and like contribute to that vision that we have for ourselves and also for everyone else because I know that's something that we all crave. So
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
Amazing. Well then, goodbye.
See you soon.